owner. He and his wife, Wendy, and family own Petland of Iowa City, located right across from Lucky's. It's at that Sycamore Mall. Now it's called the Iowa City Marketplace. It's always buzzing over there. There's always fun stuff happening, and you should get over there. Pick up a Frenchie if he's still there, or she. Is a Frenchie a boy or a girl?
Little girly.
Little girl. Little Frenchie girl that's there. And at that time of broadcast. It does not mean that the Frenchie is still there because, again, dogs don't stay very long at the Petland of Iowa City, which is great. They go to families in a quick manner. So it's less than 2 weeks an average stay for the dogs there at Petland of Iowa City. So you may be lucky enough that the Frenchie's still there. One of the great things is they have it set up so when a purchase is finalized, the dog to worry about falling in love with a dog, and then you show up and it's gone. So that's one of the ways you guys help.
Oh, we've actually had it go home on the way in.
Yes.
Oh, that's just so frustrating for everybody.
So that technically could happen if you checked the website and then went to the store in a very rare case. But for the most part, what they have on the website is what is at the store at the time. So, and it's really fun just to, in a general sense, to flip around, look at the different pups that are there, and even better, go play with them in person, which is one of the things that Ron's always promoting, to keep those puppies active and, of course, get them socialized with people so that they are more comfortable around people, and they do that every day at Petland of Iowa City. So today we're going to talk about the Frenchie. It's the breed of the week. We also are going to talk about the top 5 reasons why you get upset with your dog. Is that right? Is that similar to say?
Right. Yeah. And to not make it too negative, what we will be doing is talking about the solutions to this. So is there something about that dog? Gosh, if I could only resolve it, or I think this is even maybe more important. Is there somebody that really is irritated by something that your dog is doing? Help them out. And let's resolve that issue so that they love the dog even more.
And that feeling of relief that we talked a little bit about off the air, which we'll bring to the show here. It's a wonderful feeling. If you've ever had a pet and they're doing something you don't like, and then you're able to find a way to stop that behavior, it is a nice feeling, especially if it sticks. I know sometimes some of that behavior returns, but if you find a way to stop that behavior and then it's over with and the issue that's been driving you crazy is gone, deep breath, right? Feels a lot better, and you can live and not have to scream at your dog every day, which nobody wants that. You don't want to be stressed out screaming at your dog. Life brings you enough stress, right? Those dogs and cats are there and part of your family, and they want to cheer you up. They want you to. That's your outlet. They that's one of the greatest things about a dog is that you have a bad day at work. That big smile as you come back and from your day of work, and they're looking at you right in the face with a big smile. So we want you to be happy too. So we'll talk more about that. We'll have our breed of the week here too, which we told you was the Frenchie, and then we have our feature Sojo. And it's freeze dried. Is that right?
Yes. It's a different type of food that you probably are not familiar with on how it's put together. And so we'll talk about it. And it's something that you're going to want to add to your dog's diet. You already are feeding the kibble and all that kind of stuff. This is just a nice way to change it up for your dog. Nice, easy way. And it's really high quality stuff. So you'll enjoy hearing about Sojos.
Okay, so we'll tell you about Sojo as well. But right now it's time to tell you the amazing pet story of the week. Big voice guy. What's happening?
It's time for the amazing
He's got his backpack.
Story of the week.
Oh,
he's going back to school.
He went shopping.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of money on that backpack there. Wow. That looks like, hey, that's like a hiking backpack. That's not a school backpack.
You're not going to school. Oh, he's going on a hiking trip. You're right. I thought he was going back to school. I thought he was going to voice school, but I guess he doesn't need to go to voice school.
He's already got
the big voice. Where are you going hiking at? Oh, yeah? Huh? Colorado? That sounds like fun. Yelling from the top of the mountains in the Rocky Mountains. The amazing pet story of the week. It is time to tell you what that is. Today we're going to tell you about Honey. Honey was named the dog of the year back in 2006, and that was because Honey saved her owner from a violent accident. She and Michael Bosch, actually a woman and Michael Bosch, found their SUV rolled over and stuck inside a deep ravine, and she knew that she was trapped, but Honey was his only hope. Actually, I take that back. Honey is just the dog. I thought it was a husband and wife, but no, it was. I should probably read this before I go on the air with it. But yeah, it's the female dog, Honey, and a male, single male. I thought it was a couple. So Michael and this dog, Honey, rolled over in an SUV. Bosch knew that he was trapped, and with all his strength, he managed to release the dog and hope that that dog would go find some help. Sure enough, the 5-month-old, so a young one, English Cocker Spaniel found a man halfway, a half mile away, and brought that man to the scene of the accident. Rescuers could have died. So he couldn't get out himself. He was with his dog, Honey. He was able, with all his strength, to muster to release the dog, get the dog out of the car. The dog runs down the road, half mile, finds somebody, brings the person back to the accident scene. They save his life. Way to go, Honey. Cool story, huh, Ron? I like that.
I love it.
Saved someone's life. It's awesome there from a crash. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have the breed of the week, which is the Frenchie. We're also going to have 5 reasons why you might be upset with your dog, but it's also, more importantly, some solutions. And then we're also going to tell you about Sojo, a freeze-dried food for your dog. And we'll be right back with more after this. As we go to break, Ron, you want to tell us a little bit about your store?
We're Petland of Iowa City. We're over at the Sycamore Mall located across from Lucky's Market. We are all about educating you and your family about pets, finding the right pet for the right family and meeting the needs of both. And then if you have a pet already, is enhancing that bond that you have with you and the pets. And I love to ask the question when you come in, what do you like least about your pets? I know it's kind of a funny question to ask, but I'm there to help you with, hey, let's take whatever that is and let's lift it up a notch. So whether it's potty training or biting or barking or whatever, hey, we can help you with those issues. We have over 9,000 different products in the store, so we have a lot to choose from. And it's stuff that Wendy, I, and Coy, our inventory manager, we go to 5 different trade shows a year just to look for the latest and greatest and what's new and all that kind of stuff. So
nice.
You get to really see the cutting edge in our store because of our aggressiveness of going out there and finding those products. Hey, does your dog or cat need a nail trim? How about the bunny or guinea pig? Bring them in. We have $5 nail trims.
Can't beat it.
Can't beat a $5 nail trim. That is a quote. Well, I'm going to call it a quote from Jay, but I know he took it from somebody else. And so $5 nail trims is always a great thing in our store, on top of playing with all the hamsters and all that kind of stuff. And then all of our dog and cat food is on a 5 buy 10 get 1 free. I don't know what the 5 was from the $5. I was like, where did that 5 come from?
Your brain's all over the place.
It is. And so we have a buy 10 get 1 free on our dog and cat food, and we track it for you. So it's really easy to do. So come on in, take advantage of what we do in our store.
That's Ron Salzer with Petland of ISC. We'll be right back with more after this. I got to record a quick show promo, and we'll get right back. Okay. Hey there, it's Jay Capron, AM 800 KXIC. Thanks to my guest this morning, Gary Bosteiler with Johnson County Veterans Affairs, and Tina Dubois.
From the pantry.
Yeah, I know, but there was another person too. Oh. I don't remember her name. Oh, there we go. Hey there, it's Jay Capron, AM 800 KXIC. Thanks to my guest this morning, Gary Bosteiler with Johnson County Veterans Affairs, Tina Dubois, and Katie Colony, who talked about the Colony Pumpkin Patch and the corn maze that's there to benefit the North Liberty Pantry. Coming up tomorrow, we'll talk to Brian Morelli with the Gazette, Susie Polton with the school district to talk about Get Moving for Healthy Kids, and Wilson's Orchard. Paul Rash will be here, and they have a back to school fest. And they have a back to school fest going on as well. I'll redo the whole thing. 3, 2, 1. Hey there, it's Jay Capron. Thanks to my guest this morning, Gary Bosteiler with Johnson County Veterans Affairs, plus Tina Dubois and Katie Colony, who told us about that fun corn maze to benefit the 3, 2, 1. Hey there, it's Jay Capron. Thanks to Gary Bosteiler from Johnson County Veterans Affairs for joining us this morning. Plus, we talked to Katie Colony and Tina Dubois with the North Liberty Pantry, and they told us about that fun maze, the corn maze that's going on. Tomorrow on the show, I'm going to catch up with Iowa City Councilor Susan Mims. We'll talk to Susie Polton about Get Moving for Healthy Kids. She's with the Iowa City Community School District. School starts on Monday. Plus, we'll talk to Paul Rash with Wilson's Orchard. It's the Jay Capron Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9. Okay. Once I clip that, we'll come right back. Hey there, it's Jay Caperin. Thanks. I gotta do that again. I know why. I had it in queue. Okay. 3, 2. Welcome back. It's the PAWSitively Petland Show, AM 800 KX here, and we're having fun talking pets. That's what we do every Sunday at around this time in this 9 o'clock hour. Plus, you can always check out the podcast. That's available at kxic.com. Always a fun way to follow the show. We have a lot of fun things we're talking about. We just told you about a English Cocker Spaniel that helped save a man's life after a bad crash, a rollover. The dog was able to get loose and run down the road and got some help for the man, and that was a great story. And coming up next, we're going to talk about the breed of the week, which is the Frenchie, and we're going to talk about 5 reasons that you may be frustrated with your dog, and then give you some solutions. Finally, at the end of the show, we're going to get you a SOJO. We'll tell you more about SOJO, a freeze-dried food that's for your pet. So all that coming up. So Ron, let's get right back into it. What is the Frenchie?
So where do you think the Frenchie originates from?
Spain, right?
I was trying to get you on it because sometimes it does send you off in left field, but the Frenchie does come from France.
Okay.
But I'm sure they did not label it the Frenchie. It was the Americans that ended up doing that. A clown in the cloak of a philosopher is the quote I love for a Frenchie. So that is wonderful. And that does say a lot about this kind of goofy little mini bulldog. And that the origination of it in France was to make a smaller version of the bulldog. The Boston Terrier is also related to the Frenchie. And so you'll see
that.
Yeah, you'll see some very close similarities there. Back, excuse me, get all congested about this. Choked up about this. In Europe, they were designing this dog to be a smaller version of the bulldog, and seems to be also a healthier version of the bulldog as well. But this is true. You know how they all have dogs? Mostly have it's a hunter and badger, this and small fowl or whatever. Not the Frenchie.
Not the Frenchie.
It was designed to be a lap dog. It's a seat warmer. That's what this guy does. Really. Back in the 1800s, some wealthy Americans doing a grand tour of Europe saw the Frenchie, fell in love with it, brought it over here, and said, "We got to have these over here now." And so that's how the Frenchie came into America.
Interesting.
I love AKC adopted it back in 1898 into their club, into the greater group of AKC. I love the category it went into. The non-sporting group. I think if I was a dog and I got put into the non-sporting group, I'd be a little,
It's like, what do you do then? If you're not sporting, then
it's kind of like, dude, man, I got muscles, I can do it, So they tend to be in that smaller, kind of a medium breed size of things. They are average shedding dog. Okay. Not only are they non-sporting, they require air conditioning in the warm weather.
Yeah, they require
it. It's that they require air conditioning.
What a pampered pooch. Right?
So yes. And so
not exactly making it out on their own very well.
No, I don't think so.
They need some help from the humans.
Because of all these great qualities of a Frenchie, they work fine in an apartment or in a condo.
Apartment with air conditioning.
Yeah. And then they just need moderate activity, indoor or outdoor. Don't overdo it. We're just saying that. Light daily exercise is all they need, and they do need that to keep them into shape. There's nothing worse than having that little dog that's a little plumpy, overweight, and you can get that off with some light exercise with the Frenchie. So if that's the kind of demeanor that you're looking for in a dog, I just had a customer call. What is a laid back dog? Kind of a thing. Well, that's a really tough question to answer because, well, all dogs are pretty hyper when they're puppies.
Yeah.
So, you're not going to get around that very well. Every dog in a litter, take, the quote unquote lazy dog, but within its own litter, just like within our own families, we have all those different personalities.
Mm-hmm.
But the Frenchie kind of goes down that lazier kind of dog path.
Well, I'm sure that, and I know this is the case from times that we've been there, and I'm sure when people take their dog home from Petland of Iowa City, is that, when they got it, it just woke up from a nap. So it's just this nice, really, oh, wow, this dog's pretty laid back and lazy. And it was just, at that time, it was sleepy,
Right,
or the
right.
opposite. It's romping. You think, oh, this dog's out of control. And then it's one of the most laid back dogs. It's just when you're getting them as puppies, that's not always the best indication of their personality, right?
No, and it's also, they're going to take cues from you. Do you have that hyper family with that boy that, as we heard earlier, was it back?
Gary?
The wearing out shoes. Earlier in the week, we were talking with Miss Dubois.
Yes,
Tina, and she talked about her own boy going through shoes quickly.
Did your boy go through shoes pretty
Oh,
quickly?
yeah, he was crazy. Oh, Gene has got
right after you buy him.
Yes,
always
grass stains, and then Emily, who. Yeah, we have, son and daughter, and Emily was rambunctious, just like Tina had said her daughter is. But her jeans didn't have grass stains all over them. She was all sweaty for sure from playing. So
if you have kids like that, then
you're going to have a dog that's going to be, more active because they're going to instill that into the dog. If you're more laid back, your dog is going to tend to take that demeanor.
Makes sense.
If you have that dog that, gosh, well, I am laid back, but my dog's hyper, I would work on training as far as, sit, stay, come, all those kind of things, because that is what we've done with our little trouble child, Susie, at home. Okay, she got groomed earlier this week. And I walk in and I go, hey, I'm here to pick Susie up. And Wendy does most of the, picking up and dropping off of Susie at the groomer and stuff. And well, they mistook me for who, what dog it was and all that. So this beautiful American Eskimo, how the coat was just fantastic. But prior to coming out, they were talking about how great of a demeanor she is, and she's a wonderful dog, and she plays with all the other dogs. And I go,
you're thinking Susie,
I'm
good
going,
job.
Susie. Well, I'm like kind of not, trying to like do the whole not put her down. I'm like, oh, well, that's good that she was displaying those behaviors because she normally doesn't. She's a crazy dog.
And then they're like, no, it wasn't Susie.
Yeah, she comes out, and then the rest of the staff goes, that's the wrong one. And I go, oh, did you think this one was mine? I go, yeah, this is a wonderful dog, but it's not mine. Susie comes out. She had been matted and all sorts of things because she just plays hard. And so she comes out, she is shaven down to the skin because of it and all that. She looks up and she just, everything about her exudes her craziness and stuff like that. And so she was wonderful. I picked her up lovingly and gave her a little kiss. And so it was, in my own brain, I was like going, this is hilarious how Susie she just makes a grand entrance, whatever she does. But what we do at home with her when she's out. So I'll take her outside, and I love chasing the dogs around and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so we get that energy out. Then we come back in, and I work with her a little bit on the training, because so now she's worn out. I work a little bit on the training, sit, stay calm, lay down and all that. She loves all that attention. And by the end of, just about 5 or 10 minutes of training, she's had it. And she's like, okay, I'm done. You want to go lay on the couch or something? And so just work with them in that way. And give them the exercise they need. You could just get a ball, throw it around. You don't have to run with the dog, and do that. So
the Frenchie.
And I think we've summed up the Frenchie. I think we did a good job there.
Good job.
So let's move into our next topic. And that is 5 top reasons. And I think everybody can probably guess what they are. I did go on the web and I said, okay, top 5 reasons why people hate dogs, just to see what it said. What was funny, there was only one hit for that. All the other hits were why dogs hate people.
Oh,
Goofy things we do with our dogs.
dress them up.
Yeah. Oh, and it was like, I hate when you give me a bath and stuff like that. So they were written from the dog's perspective. They were actually kind of cute, the ones that I read. I'm sure there was some other ones, but but the top 5 reasons why we get, maybe a little irritation with our dogs. I know I've had some irritations over time with dogs, and I know when I resolve those issues, man, I love that dog a lot more, and I appreciated it. Susie or Callie, whoever I was working with, a lot more. So we're going to cover, and we're going to have to cover the topics fairly briefly. We do this in our show on a weekly basis in a little more detail. Maybe we can hit these in the next upcoming weeks in more detail. But number 1 reasons why why people get irritated with dogs: they're loud, barking, all that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about that. Dirty and smelly. I don't want that dirty, smelly. Or have you ever walked into a house where it smells like dog? I don't want angry, i.e. biting, kind of thing. The dogs are angry. It's wrecking all my stuff. I've spent a lot of money on what I have in this house, and I really appreciate it. I really love it. I don't want to bring a dog into this house to have it all ruined and all that. So we'll talk about chewing and how to puppy proof or dog proof your house. And then the last one, which I think a lot of us have issues with, but we kind of like just live with it. And I'm like, you don't have to live with potty training issues. I always love asking my customers also, how often does your dog have an accident in the house? Because if I asked you, Jay, if you had a dog and I said, hey, how's potty training going? And you're going to say, fine.
Right.
If I ask you, how often is there an accident in the house? And if you say once a week, I'm going to go, let's work on that. Because that's got to be an irritant to you and or the people that are in your house.
Yeah, no doubt.
Jack probably is, just all about not having accidents in the house. How come
it'd be annoying though, and we don't have that problem, thankfully, but if you got to clean it, you got to get the paper towels out, you got to get the everything you need to clean up, and it's that I could see the frustration building.
Well, shout out to the husbands out there. I know I get straddled with, I walk in the door after work or whatever, and I'm not toting anything there. I'm just saying I'm tired. And then I get greeted with, the dog had an accident. Why don't you go get that cleaned up? I'm like, wait, there's kids in this house. And what I got to go, so that becomes an irritant. And so my question or my can't get the adjective out there. My drive, my task for you is to figure out how to minimize that even more so that, the husband or the wife, I'm sure it's 50-50 out there, doesn't have to clean that stuff up. Let's prevent it on the front end. And there's some easy tricks to do on that.
Good deal.
So starting off with loud, my dog barks. Find out, it's the key here is why is your dog barking? I think it was about 4 weeks ago we hit the barking issue. Dog bark. Is it because of the door opening? Is it because there's a dog walking by in the front of your house? Is it because your kids are antagonizing the dog to the point of barking, or your husband? What's the reason for the barking, and then start addressing it. If you can remove the reason for the bark, let's do that. For instance, in my house, you guys, everybody knows that my wife and I own Petland. Guess what I get to hear most of the day? Barking. And my office is right in with the kennel. And that's on purpose so that I'm always engaged. And so now I hear that barking throughout the day, and I'm actually amazed on how infrequent the barking is because of all the the puppies that we have and all the passion that's going on in there. But when I get home, man, I am looking forward to a little bit of quiet. And so when I come in and Susie is barking up a storm because she's all riled up or something else is going on in the house, man, I'd appreciate a little bit of quiet and ask for, can you help me out with the barking? And so Susie, on the front end, we worked with her on just training, and it's the rollover technique. And again, if we can go over that in a future date, but it's what mom would do in the litter: roll them over and growl into the chest. You don't have to growl into the chest. You could just say a no or something like that. A nice deep low, not a shout, but a nice deep low. Do that repetitively and consistently, and you got to do this. It could be weeks, it could be months. You're going to see an improvement in a reduction in that barking. If you're looking to do it even further and you're going, gosh, there's just some times when I can't control my dog, I can't replace that irritant, what do I do now? Well, then you can go into the devices that we have out there. The static collar is a great tool to use for barking. Susie does get to use that tool. And what it was designed for is when two dogs are getting irritated and one gets more irritated than the other, what happens? That irritated dog bites the neck of the other dog. The veterinarians, to actually simulate that bite. It's not a puncture bite. It's not a hostile bite. It's a, I don't know how to say this to you, dog, but stop it, kind of bite. And so the collar does exactly the same thing. And so Susie uses that from time to time when she gets into those barking modes where she just is always barking. She's just coming off of one of those phases right now. So the collar actually came off last night. So we're going to see how it goes. If she starts it back up again, well, then we put it back on so that she understands that, hey, we'd like a little bit more quiet in the house. This is that incessant barking kind of a thing. Hey, do you have that situation where I'm going to be evicted if I don't quiet my dog down this minute? This collar is a wonderful tool, and it's a humane tool to use on there. I know there's people out there that say, hey, I disagree with that, and I totally respect your opinion. But if you're going to be evicted and you're going to, dump this dog off somewhere as a result, hey, let's prevent all that from using the static collar and use it for issue and all that. So being loud is that number one reason why people have issues with dogs. Let's resolve those issues. Let's get it calmed down, either through removing the irritant, training, and or using those devices out there that we have to help us out. What's the next one? Dirty, smelly dogs. I don't want a stinky house. Or maybe you do have that stinky house. This is a bathing issue, and sometimes the bath is once a day, sometimes it's once a week, sometimes it's once a month, depending on what your dog's doing. In the summer months, we bathe our dogs a heck of a lot more than in the winter because they're out in the grass. And I even go look for it. I go, when they come in and it's nasty, I go, what did you find? And so I go search the yard. I'll even observe them like really intently where are you rolling? And then I find it. And sure enough, the grass is matted and that are down in that area. And I go smell I'm the crazy house owner that goes on all fours and smelling the grass. Can you imagine what? Yeah, gosh, he's a goofy guy. And I don't smell it in the grass. I don't even know how she gets it on her. So there's a couple of things. So obviously just a bath, a rinse down. Susie does get rinse downs, really quick rinse downs. If you've got that non-shedding dog, keep that coat tight as far as keep it short. So it's easy to wash your dog up. If you got that large breed dog, especially in the summer, man, I would have a tub at the ready outside. If they get into stuff, man, in the tub you go. There is a little bit of training that's going to be going on here because if you do it quick enough, they're going to go, gosh, every time I roll out there, I'm in the bath and I don't like the bath, So you might even get a reduction as a result. Another thing that we notice with our dogs is they'll go outside. They didn't roll in anything. But, man, when they walk in the door, we term it the outside smell. And it's not something when I go outside, I smell, flowers and wonderful things. But when the dogs come back in, it's just an outside smell that is nasty on them. We have a cologne, and we've talked about, we have some really strong colognes in the store. So we have those colognes that you kind of get with the shampoos and all that. I always found those are kind of lacking. You spray them and in about half an hour, I don't smell anything anymore. We actually have perfumes and stuff where I give a half a pump on a small dog, and that perfume is with that dog the next day. I still can smell it. So they're really nice, strong. And then Arfmani and Dalmatian.
Dalmatian, yeah.
They work with the different names, and they actually smell like those, you know, they're kind of copycat things. They actually smell like the cologne that they're copying, and a really nice smell. So we have that there. So we wipe them down real quick, and then we give them a real quick spritz with it, and that just eliminates that outdoor odor that we just don't like. So bathing, colognes, a quick wipe down when they come in with those wipes are all three great ways to keep that dirty, smelly down. So if you're the one that is saying, I hate the smell of things, obviously you're going to be doing it. But those people out there that they don't like the smell of the dog, help them out. Get these products, work with the dog, you know, bathe the dog more frequently, and help them love that dog even more. The next one, angry. Those dogs, oh gosh, every time I'm walking around, they're always biting and all that kind of stuff. I don't want that in my house. We got kids. I don't want them biting the kids. Biting is usually a sign of dominance. If the dog is, you know, drawing blood on whatever it's doing, okay, there's some anger issues going on. It's probably a trained behavior. But if you're getting them as a puppy or a young dog, you can train your dog to not be a biter. I know people say that the small dogs are the nippy ones. Those are usually because those small dogs didn't get the dominance type training. We know that we equate people to social styles. If you go to college and you go to those psychology courses, you learn about, there's drivers or amiables or expressives, or they put them in dog terms or animal terms. You're a lab or what I'm trying to, a lion, you know, kind of thing. There's social styles that we learn how to work with those individuals, putting those social styles on them and then communicating them in their language. What we've done for dogs is that whole alpha thing. And so whether you like that or not, that's just a social style that we are put on dogs to help us understand how to work with them. If your dog is a bitey dog, what it usually is doing is saying, I'm in charge here. Don't you tell me what to do. So if you get bitten when you sit down on the couch, the dog's telling you, get off the couch, kind of a thing. You need to turn that thing around. So let's you can do this with an older dog, but do it cautiously. But if you've got a puppy, man, I'd be doing this right now to get them going in the right direction. We talked about that rollover. Well, how to introduce the rollover to your puppy or your older dog. Again, be safe when you're doing this with an older dog, especially if it's biting you and stuff like that. You might need a trainer in that situation. We've got some wonderful trainers in town here. Belly up, feet up. I have the head right at my belly button to give you a picture of where the dog is. And so I'm sitting there, legs are sticking straight up, head is at my belly button. I'm holding the front shoulders. So not the paws, not the legs, but all the way down to the shoulder where it comes into the body of the dog. And I hold it there until it calms down. And what you're saying is I'm in charge here. You're not doing anything mean, nothing hurtful whatsoever. Some dogs will let a yelp out. Those huskies out there, do this to them and they will have a little bit of a yelp. And so you're not hurting them. They're just trying to exert their dominance over you at that point. If you need help with this, come on into the store and we'll show you how to do it. But that is your first step in showing your dog that you're in charge and not them. They use that bite to show who's in charge. So that's an introductory to how to stop the biting. Hey, the next one, wrecking stuff in my house. I've spent too much money on this. Make sure that you have plenty of toys. So we have 2 dogs in our house. We have over 30 toys of different textures. So there's plush ones, there's hard ones, there's rubber ones, there's soft ones. There's ones that squeak, there's ones that don't squeak. We have a really huge variety of toys that they can get into and get that chewing tendency out. If it's a puppy, it's teething. If it's an older dog, it's just normal behavior. Let them get it out on a toy. Do you have that one that, man, it goes through toys quickly? Well, I'd rather have it go through that toy than go through my furniture. I need to take a break here.
Sure. Yeah, we're going to have to kind of speed it up because we're getting a little late now.
Okay.
But
all right, good.
All right, in 3, 2, 1.
And then finally, the potty training issue. Hey, if you are not using a kennel right now for potty training issues, I'm urging you to do that. For basically using that moving wall, it's using the concept of dogs do not poop or pee in their den. They're denning animals. They don't poop or pee in there. They poop outside the den. And so you're making that kennel be their den and using it as a tool to enforce potty training. Again, this is a longer term talk, and so we'll do this in future shows, and we've done it in past shows.
Absolutely.
And if you have any questions, come on into the store and we can show you how to use a kennel to minimize accidents and to train your dog on how to go potty outside rather than inside.
Yeah, it can be a very effective tool. I know just by doing the show with you that when people come to you, it's actually one of the first things you'll talk to them about when you talk about training is getting that kennel and finding a way to utilize it, making sure you don't get a humongous kennel for a little dog because all they're going to do is poop in the corner and then sleep on the other side. So there's a lot of training that goes along with that. But yeah, good stuff. That was interesting to hear. So that's all 5 then, right?
Yep, we got through all 5.
And then we have just a couple minutes left, but you want to tell us about Sojo.
Right, gotten the nose dripping thing under control, but it turns into a coughing thing. So SOJOs is a really fun product because we feed a kibble. We feed Nutro to our one dog, or to both dogs, but 2 different types of kibble. And what I love to do in the morning is make it a little bit of a smorgasbord. And so,
great word, by the way. That's top 5 of my all-time favorite words.
I love it.
Smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord.
Fantastic.
And so SOJOs is a freeze-dried process. It's gently freeze-dried for safety reasons and for preservative type reasons.
Gently freeze-dried.
Yes, I like how they say that on the web. And so during the freeze-dried process, it doesn't exceed 115 degrees Fahrenheit. What happens when they don't exceed it is the natural enzymes are preserved in the food, and so that they can.
It's okay. In 3, 2, 1.
So there's from the bacteria and stuff, but the enzymes are able to continue to stay there. Enzymes are used in our gut to help us digest things and all that kind of stuff. So what I like to do is have the kibble for the main portion of things, and then introduce this what would be called a raw food. It's just freeze dried into their diet to get those enzymes in there. A lot of these foods and SOJOs hugely as part of it. No genetically engineered ingredients, no fillers, no preservatives, no artificial colors. They even add vitamins and minerals that are all natural. And so it's a great product. When you go to the shelf, you'll notice that, hey, that's a small bag. Where's the big bag? Because it's freeze dried, you actually hydrate it back. So an 8-pound bag of SOJOs is like a 40-pound bag of food. And so that is, it's a small bag with a big punch, so to speak, in there. You can buy SOJOs where it does not have the meat source in there, because there are people out there that use SOJOs as a supplement kind of a thing, a smorgasbord of things.
How do you spell SOJO? Is it S-O-J-O?
Oh, good question. S-O-J-O-S. They go by SOJOs.
SOJOs. Okay.
I don't think they do the slur like you just did.
SOJOs.
SOJOs.
Those are people who live in southern Johnson County. We call them SOJOs.
So I don't know. Southern Johnson County. I don't know where we go with this conversations. But SOJOs comes with a meatless and then other variety with meat included. I keep on saying dog throughout this. We have it both in dog and cat, and we have a variety in there. We have carried SOJOs now for, I think it's like 3 or 4 years, and it took a little bit of time for people to figure it out, and it is coming on very strong. So we've actually added variety to it, and we've added cat to it as well.
Nice.
So it's a really good product. We have samples in the store, so ask us about some samples for it and just try it with your dog. You know, when you're rehydrating this, like it'll give you some directions. I want you to stick your nose into it. And so it actually has that ability as well. So a lot of good things about SOJO.
I love it, man. We had a busy show today, Ron. SOJOs, you just heard about that. So check it out. There's a huge variety of foods. That's just one of many. So check it out. They have a whole wall, cat and dog foods at Petland of Iowa City. High quality foods. You know, when you feed that to your dog or cat, you know you're feeding them some quality stuff. And you can take care of them by doing that, by making sure they stay healthy with some great food. And as Ron always tells you, you're paying half the price because you don't have to feed them as much. There's a lot of filler and some of that cheap stuff. So this is good quality stuff. Even though it does have a higher price tag, you can save some money by basically making it a wash by not feeding as much. Ron, as we get ready to wrap up, any final thoughts?
We're Petland of Iowa City. Come on in and play. If you got questions, we love to find answers for you. We might not always have that answer at the ready, but we'll go find it while you're there. 9,000 different products in our store, and that's to help help your dog. Train if you're looking to train them, whatever you're doing. We've got that product in the store.
I love it. That's Ron Salzard. I'm Jay Capron. We are out of time. This has been the Positively Petland Show on AM 800 KXIC Iowa City. Everybody have an awesome day. Bye.